Baikoko was never meant for the public eye. It began as a secret only women dance along Tanzania's coastline, performed behind closed doors, passed from woman to woman, generation after generation. So how did it end up on festival stages, in nightclubs, and at the center of cultural controversy? In this video, we investigate the hidden history of Baikoko, revealing how it emerged from Ngoma ya ndani, a powerful women ritual among the Digo people of Tanga. We examine the women's groups that first brought Baikoko into public performance, how urban life reshaped the meaning, and why authorities, religious leaders, and communities have long been divided over its place in modern African society. More importantly, we ask the question few people answer: why has Baikoko survived every attempt to silence it? This is not just a story about dance, it is a story about African women, cultural survival, colonial morality, and the politics of the body. If you care about African traditions, untold histories, and the deeper meaning behind controversial cultural practices, this documentary will change everything you think you know. Before Baikoko became a headline, before it became controversial, before it filled nightclubs and music festivals, it belonged to the women and to secrecy. Baikoko did not begin as entertainment. It was not created for cameras, stages, or public applause. Its roots lie deep in the coastal communities of northern Tanzania, particularly among the Digo people of the Tanga region. Here, Baikoko emerged from an older tradition known as Ngoma ya ndani, literally the dance of those inside. Ngoma ya ndani was a women-only ritual dance, performed behind closed doors, far from the gaze of men. It was practiced during important moments in a woman's life: initiation into adulthood, marriage preparation, and social bonding. Through drums, chants, and controlled but powerful waist movements, women taught one another lessons about femininity, intimacy, fertility, and survival in marriage. This dance was not sexual for display. It was educational, symbolic, and communal. Movement replaced speech in society where many conversations about womanhood could not be spoken openly. From these private gatherings, Baikoko was born. From generations, the dance remained within villages, but as Tanzania urbanized in the late 20th century, women began moving from rural coastal areas into towns like Tanga and Dar es Salaam, carrying their culture with them. In the early 1990s, a small number of women made a decision that would change Baikoko forever. They took it outside. One of the earliest known groups to publicly perform Baikoko was Bazoka, based in Kisosora, Tanga. Shortly after, another group emerged, Dogo Stars Baikoko, later renamed Kaya Baikoko. These groups were made up of largely women who had grown up participating in Ngoma traditions in their villages. What they performed on stage was not invented, it was inherited. But once Baikoko entered public spaces, everything changed. What was once private became visible. What was once symbolic was not interpreted literally. The powerful hip and waist movement, long understood within women's cycles, shocked wider audiences. Critics called the dance immoral. Authorities questioned its place in public culture. Religious leaders condemned it. Newspapers debated whether Baikoko represented African heritage or cultural decay. Yet the women continued. As Baikoko moved into cities, it adapted. Traditional drums made from wood and animal skin were replaced with plastic pipes, tin containers, and recycled materials, a reflection of urban life and economic reality. Performers adjusted rhythms, shortened routines, and blended the dance with contemporary sounds to suit bars, weddings, and entertainment venues. By the late 2000s, figures like Juma Hussein, popularly known as Maya, helped push Baikoko further into mainstream urban culture, especially in Dar es Salaam. What began as a rural women ritual had now become a full performance genre, visible, debated, and impossible to ignore. Despite repeated criticism and attempts to suppress it, Baikoko survived. The question is why? Because Baikoko was never just a dance, it was a cultural memory carried by women's bodies. At its core, Baikoko represents resistance, not rebellion, but refusal to erase lived existence. Long before colonial morality reshaped ideas of decency, African societies understood the body as a site of communication, teaching, and power. Baikoko challenges modern discomfort by reminding society of the truth. Today, Baikoko stands on festival stages, in clubs, in culture showcases, not because it is provocative, but because it is rooted. It continues because women passed it down, protected it, and adapted it to survive changing times. What began behind closed doors now moves openly to the sound of drums, carrying history, controversy, and resilience in every state. Baikoko did not refuse to disappear by accident. It endured because women who created it never stopped dancing.